Tēnā koutou katoa, ko te mihi tuatahi ki tō tātou matua e te rangi. That's all. In celebration of Waitangi Day this week, we are going to be making hangi. We're not going to be making hangi, we're going to be making an oven-baked hangi. Okay, unfortunately I don't have a backyard to go get my spade and start digging a hole into the ground. We're going to make this hangi in our oven. It is a much simpler way to make and easy for everyone to do. A hangi is a traditional way of cooking in New Zealand. Back in the past, before conventional ovens were introduced or invented, they used to cook their foods under the ground. So they dig up a hole, they put their meats in, they cover it with like wet newspaper. We're going to be doing a similar thing, except we're going to be using my oven over here. If you like to make this at home, the things that you will need to make this is cabbage.
That's really heavy. I would say that's like 3 kilos.
Potato, kumara, pumpkin, chicken, and lamb. Onion, and then just to spice up your life, you need some mixed herbs and some paprika.
Oh,
wow. So these are all the ingredients that we need, and I want to teach you how to make your oven baked hangi right now. So we're going to start with our potatoes, and I'm just going to cut them into 4. Now with these, I'm not going to peel the skin off because that's where most of our fibre is. As long as you give them a wash, that should be fine to eat. So fibre is good, it helps to keep us fuller for longer, and it also helps to clean our gut. Okay, the next thing you want to do is we're going to peel the kumara, and then we're going to chop that into quarters as well. And we're going to try and cut it relatively the same size. So the next thing we want to do is add the pumpkin. But these are basically the only veggies that we're adding is a kumara, potato, and pumpkin, and onion. But you can add whatever veggies you like, or whatever veggies your family like. Things like carrots or... and other veggies. I was gonna say like broccoli and stuff, but corn, carrots, corn. Once you've skinned your pumpkin, you can go ahead and cut that up as well. It's about the same size pieces as the potato and the kumara. And the last veggie we're gonna add is our onion. And then we can just slice that into 3s, I reckon. And then just chuck it in there. Chuck it in, bruh. The next thing you want to add is the meat. The meat we're using is chicken thighs and some lamb chops. So the next thing you want to add is about 1 tablespoon of paprika. It's going to add some flavour to it. Next ingredient we're going to add is about the same 1 tablespoon of mixed herbs. The last thing you want to add is 1 tablespoon of oil. Alright, so once you've done that, we're just going to give it a quick mix. I'm just going to use my hands, it might be easier. Make sure you wash your hands before you start cooking anything. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side and just let this marinate for a bit. And while that's marinating, I am going to blanch our cabbage leaf. Okay, so now that our frying pan has come to a boil, you can just pop your cabbage leaf in there. And I'm just going to blanch it and make it soft. Maybe give it about 1 to 2 minutes on each side. Our cabbage leaves are ready to wrap our hangi in, so we're going to start wrapping up our hangi right now. To make the hangi now, we want to grab your cabbage leaf, okay, and then with your meat mixture, you want a bit of everything that we have spoken about inside the leaf, okay, so maybe that's 1 piece of potato, 1 kumara, a pumpkin, a chicken thigh, some lamb. Okay, so just pop that on in there. A few pieces of onion. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is wrap it. Like, kind of like a luau, I guess. Okay, going to wrap the cabbage leaf. And basically it looks like this. Going to pop it into a baking tray like that. Okay, so this is going to make about 4. Alright, so this is what it looks like here. We have our 4 hangi parcels ready to go, all wrapped up in this beautiful green cabbage. The next step you want to do is add about 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of water into the dish. We're going to add some foil just to cover it and to lock in all the flavours, the steam. And then the last thing we want to do is that we're going to pop it into the oven now. I have preheated the oven to 180 degrees and we're going to pop this tray in there for about 2 hours. And that's it.
2 hours later.
Ooh. So we did make this in celebration of Waitangi Day, which is tomorrow. Waitangi Day is a celebration of the first founding document in New Zealand, which was signed in 1840, and now it is a public holiday that we celebrate. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, I cannot resist. How is it? Yum. And the flavour. Okay, Mom? Look at that. Every bite. So good. We'll link the recipe in our comments below, but happy Waitangi Day. Why don't you try this for your family maybe over this weekend? Such a great dish to honour and celebrate our Kiwi friends over the ditch. Cheap, easy to make and nutritious. Tune in next week. We'll see you next week. Bye. We'll see you next week. Pulakanaka and welcome back to the show. My name is Brent from the Good Start program, and today we are going to be cooking. Today we are going to be making suruwa, which is a fish curry lolo. Now this dish hails all the way from our brothers and sisters in Fiji. So Bulavinaka to our Fijian followers and friends there who are watching this show. And please like and comment on this video if you'd like to see more of what we cook. And we actually got a comment, didn't we, from one of our guests. We just want to shout out Natasha Afin Khan, who's left this comment here. She has requested that we make something Fijian. So this one is for you and for all your Fijian fellow friends and family. So if you're from Fiji, why don't you drop a comment, or if you would like us to make something that's traditional in your country, leave a comment below and we would love the challenge. If you would like to make this suruwa fish curry lolo at home, the things you will need to make this dish is fish, the star of the wow. The fish is moist and watery. So the first thing you need is fish, and I'm just going to put this to the side because it's running. Bok choy, onion, garlic, ginger, curry powder, tomatoes, and lemon. And to help us eat this dish, what we're going to serve on the side is some kumara. So go yourself some kumara as well. Or you could have whatever you want, some veggies, taro, fa'i. These are all the ingredients that you need, and we're going to go through the process on how to make it now. Sorry, and the last thing you need is a coconut cream, which thanks to our suppliers who left it out of our shipping. Thank you. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is grab some oil and just gently oil the pan. Okay, so you just want a tablespoon just to lightly cover the pan. Now just in that break time, after we threw the ingredients at each other, we went and prepared all the ingredients so that, you know, this could be a lot quicker for us. So this is one way to save time in the kitchen and to also get your kids involved, is to get them to help with the preparation. Things like cutting up the veggies, cutting up the meat, all the protein, and then once you get to this point, all you're doing is just cooking. Right, so the first thing you want to do is to add the onions. Okay, so we have one large onion here. Okay, and then you just want to toss the onions around and cook them until they're relatively soft. What does lolo mean? I think it's coconut. Hey Siri, what does lolo mean in Fijian? Yes, coconut cream is lolo. Thank you, Siri.
There you have it.
Look at that, she's a legend. So I think our onions are looking pretty nice and sauteed. Next thing you want to add is 1 tablespoon of ginger and 2 tablespoons of garlic, which is roughly about 4 cloves of garlic. I've added a little bit more because I love garlic. And then just mix that all in. Okay, so we have some nice aromatics happening. Okay, so the ginger and garlic is good for our immune system, especially with the flu season coming up. It's getting cold, so it has a lot of antibacterial and antioxidant properties in it. Okay, so nice way to add it to your dish. Okay, the next thing you want to do once your ginger, garlic and onions are cooked is to add half a cup of light coconut cream. Now we talked about light coconut cream in so many of our videos. We want to use it because it has a reduced amount of fat in it. We're going to add 1 cup of water to this as well, just to help thin it out. half a cup of light coconut cream and 1 cup of water. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook this out for about 10 minutes. Oh, if you could smell this, I'm seriously. Just while we have this on simmer, we have our side dish, which is our kumara. We have it boiling here in a pot. So we're just going to boil that down until the kumara becomes tender and soft, and then that's going to be our side dish and accompany our fish curry.
Just say it now.
Alright, so we forgot a huge step, which was to add the curry powder to the ginger and the garlic. So usually you're supposed to add the curry powder to the dry ingredients, like the garlic and the ginger. And what that does is that the curry powder helps to absorb the moisture that the ginger and garlic and the onions leave. And then what it does is that it kind of emulsifies and makes this paste texture. What we're going to do now is add the fish, the bok choy and the tomatoes. Okay, so you can go ahead and add that in. And then add the tomatoes. So I'm going to pop a lid onto it, and it's going to help to shrink the veggies so that way I can stir it easier. So I'm just checking this, and one way you can tell the kumara is ready is when this fork goes straight through it. Make sure everything is well incorporated and get everything covered in this sauce. Alright, so bok choy is a great vegetable. If you didn't know, bok choy is one of the vegetables that is a non-dairy, non-meat form of calcium or iron, or a way that you can get calcium and iron from a product that is not meat or dairy. Okay, so it also is good to help reduce blood clots as it has vitamin K in it. So yeah, why don't you give bok choy a try? The last thing I'm going to do, because it's basically ready, is just squeeze some lemon on there. This is going to add some additional flavour. So just grab your lemon and squeeze. Our Suruwa Fish Curry Lolo is done. So here it is. If only you can taste and smell. Yum. A really delicious meal you can share with your family. It is cheap and affordable, easy to make, and you can substitute any of these veggies for anything else that your family like. Okay, so you can put potatoes in there, maybe some broccoli, cauliflower, whatever you want to put into this curry. It is completely up to you. It is delicious regardless. Why don't you give it a go? Shout out to our Fijians for this beautiful traditional recipe. I loved it. Comment, like and share what you like to see on our videos in the future. But again, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Vinaka.